Alright, in this episode I got a new toy. It's the ARES Amoeba CC pistol, and got it exclusively just for playing CQB in tighter corners, because the ARES AM008 with the 10-inch barrel got a little bit tough playing in really tight close quarters, especially when you start playing with really good pistol users. Becomes a disadvantage to start using a longer barrel M4. So I decided, why not, let's try a pistol. Well, I guess some of the advantages, almost looks like an H&K MP5K almost, but not quite. You know, a little bit features distinguishing it. Obviously it looks like an M4, but the biggest winner on these things is obviously the mag size. Now what I wanted to get to is what I have titled in this YouTube video is actually how to improve the ARES CCP. Now, typically, I guess most ARES guns I always faced is they always have bad air nozzle, shimming's always too tight, the motor is just average, nothing great about it, and it could definitely use some Dean connectors too. So the thing in this episode what I'm going to go over is the stuff I'm going to try and improve on this pistol, and see if we could beat the stock numbers. So I'll post up the pictures of the stock numbers later on this video. Right now it does shoot about roughly 320 FPS and about 16 rounds per second, but that's using a very specialized 11.1 LiPo battery, and this one's 1000 milliamp 15C. I mean, it was the housing up on top of these pistols are pretty small, so you're pretty pressed on the selections you're gonna use. So just be aware, if you're gonna use 11.1, your choices are very limited and the batteries do get expensive. This particular stick I have to pay about $55 for one, so it's not really cheap per se. But heck, you know, when you have a little bit of money, you could play with toys a little bit. So, but you definitely could use. There was a handful of 7.4s you could use. So, but if you really, but for this kind of pistol and its configuration, I definitely not stuffing a 7.4 2500 milliamp 20C up in that upper housing anytime soon. So stepped up to 11.1, so a small 11.1. So that's for running powering this gun. What I plan to is change to one of these three motors, depending on the RPS I'm going to get. Normally the Matrix 3000 is slightly faster than the Lonix A2, and the Sonic 5000, if you use a M100 spring, it could be pretty quick. It could be even much faster than an A1, but that's if you really use a low powered setup. But I have to see after I'm done with all the adjustments which final motor I'm going to decide on, because I like to keep my my AEG shooting about the low 20 RPS, so I like 21 to 23 a lot. I try not to go over 25, so just for longevity's sakes, and plus it doesn't seem like I really need all that speed either. So for accuracy, I actually tried the gun stock, and actually the accuracy from 75 feet is actually pretty adequate. Yes, I did say 75 feet, so I thought it was more than adequate. Actually, I thought it was actually very good. And I remember someone posting a commentary on this gun, and he was able to shoot pretty far with the gun, so he wasn't kidding that the gun was pretty accurate. So from what I'm guessing, I really don't need to change the inner barrel. Normally most ARES guns really come with a crappy inner barrel, but this one actually looks like it's brass, and it looks pretty good. So I'll break it down and look at it a little bit later, but it looks like I really don't need to change the inner barrel that much. For the ARES bucking, I've always been happy with the stock bucking. It's pretty good. I think ARES stock bucking is not bad coming out of the box, and I really don't have big complaints about it. But one thing I've tested and I did like actually was the GNP buckings, and they've been pretty impressive to me actually. It tightened up the group a little bit more, so now that the pistol shoots pretty well, I think I could tighten it up with the GNP. And of course my favorite nozzles, the SHS or Matrix altitude air nozzle, aluminum nozzles. Those really bring up the FPS on these ARES guns. Normally you'll see a good kicking difference from 20 to 40, just depends. And that way it'll allow me to drop down, maybe down to M100 spring on this gun and make it run a little bit quicker, a little bit more efficient. Don't stress the gearbox a lot. So I anticipate it's no different than the AM008 I worked on, so it looks like all the same, just in a smaller profile. So definitely let's get started and try to oh, I almost forgot one thing. Definitely going to shim the box. So definitely going to put up more videos, or actually going to be on this video episode, going up the steps, taking down this gun complete apart, putting all these items in, and we'll be testing how much better it does stock than stock.